Right now, across Metro Vancouver, homeowners are facing a harsh reality. They bought at the peak thinking prices could only go up, and now the market has turned against them. Listings are sitting for months, price reductions are showing up every single day, and for the first time in a long time, the people who were once confident the market could only go up are starting to panic. We're not talking about a crash, we're talking about a slow, grinding correction that's catching thousands of people off guard. My name is Shahrad Sardari. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Vancouver, and in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in our market, why so many owners are feeling stuck, and what you can do to protect yourself if you're buying or selling right now. For years, it felt impossible to lose in Vancouver real estate. Prices were rising every month, interest rates were low, and buyers were lining up at open houses. But the market always moves in cycles, and this one is finally shifting. We're seeing higher mortgage payments, higher taxes, and lower appraisals. Renewals that used to cost $2,000 a month are now $4,000. And for some owners, that jump alone is what's forcing them to sell. It's not just detached homes or luxury condos, it's happening in almost every segment of the market. People are realizing that the market is cooled, buyers have leverage, and holding power isn't what it used to be. That's where the tension is coming. Right now, owners who can't lower their price meet buyers who refuse to overpay. To understand why this is happening, let's look at the data. As of mid-2025, sales across Metro Vancouver are sitting well below the 10-year average. Active listings, on the other hand, are nearly 40% higher than usual. That combination creates a market where buyers have time and sellers have pressure. Buyers can compare, they can visit 5 similar properties in one afternoon and walk away if none feel right. Sellers don't have that luxury. If their pricing is even slightly off, the listing just sits. 2 years ago, homes were selling within days. Today, many take 60 or 90 days even after multiple price reductions. That's the definition of a market correction. It's not panic, it's not exhaustion, and it's a sign that the balance of power has completely shifted in the favor of the buyer. When sellers can't get their price, the first thought is to rent the property and wait for the market to bounce back. That idea works in some cases, but not everywhere. Rental supply has surged across Metro Vancouver. There are record levels of listings in downtown Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, and Coquitlam. A lot of investors who used to rely on appreciation are now just trying to break even. That means more choice for tenants and more competition for landlords. Rents have softened while ownership costs continue to climb. A property that costs $4,000 a month to carry might only bring in $3,000 in rent. That's a $1,000 shortfall every single month before repairs or vacancies. And once you rent it out, BC tenancy laws makes it very hard to remove a tenant unless you move in yourself. If you decide to sell later, a tenanted property can take longer to move because buyers prefer something vacant and staged. So what feels like a safety net often turns into another financial burden. Before we move on, if you're finding this helpful so far, take a second to subscribe to the channel and like the video. The market didn't flip overnight. It built up slowly over the past few years. From 2020 to 2022, low interest rates created one of the biggest buyer frenzies we've ever seen. Money was cheap, competition was insane, and sellers could list for almost any price and still get multiple offers. People stretched their budgets because they assumed the same growth would continue forever. But once the Bank of Canada started hiking rates, the math broke. Payments doubled, qualification rules got stricter, and the wave of buyers who had been driving the market suddenly disappeared. At the same time, new listings kept coming. Homeowners renewing at higher rates started listing. Investors tried to cash out. Developers completed buildings started at the boom. The result is what we have now. More listings, fewer buyers, and a market that's finally forcing everyone to price based on reality instead of emotion. Across Metro Vancouver, homeowners are reacting differently to the shift. Some are listing preemptively before their renewals hit, others are trying to offload investment properties that no longer make financial sense. Many are choosing to wait, hoping the market rebounds next year. But that waiting game can be risky, because while prices haven't collapsed, time is working against sellers. Buyers are seeing price drops in real time. They know inventory is rising, and they're factoring that into every single offer they write. So sellers who list too high and keep chasing the market down end up selling for far less than if they had priced correctly from the start. That's one of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing right now. Listings that start unrealistic and lose momentum before the real buyers even notice them. If you're in this position, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Start by getting an honest market valuation. Find out what your property is actually worth today, not what it was worth in 2021. The market has changed, and having accurate information is the starting point. If you're thinking about selling, position yourself ahead of the curve. Price strategically, not emotionally. And if you wait too long or list too high, you end up helping your competition sell before you do. If you're holding and renting, run your numbers carefully, understand your full costs. Make sure you're not relying on appreciation to make the property work. If you're negative every month, consider alternative rental options, like furnished or midterm stays that can generate slightly higher returns. And if you're really feeling squeezed, talk to your lender before you miss a payment. There are often options to restructure or extend your amortization, but those are easier to arrange before you fall behind. Ignoring the problem doesn't make it better. Clarity does, so make sure you get informed. If you're a buyer, this is your first real advantage in years. Prices are down, sellers are flexible, and listings are sitting longer, which gives you room to negotiate. But being strategic matters more than ever. Don't assume every price drop is a deal. Focus on value, look for motivated sellers, properties that have been sitting for 60 to 90 days, or listings that have poor marketing and staging. That's where negotiation power really kicks in. When you find the right property, move carefully but confidently. Use your due diligence, review the strata documents properly, and know your competition. This is when disciplined buyers make long term moves that set them up for years. The next year is going to be a period of adjustment. If interest rates start to come down, demand will slowly return. But until that happens, the market will keep favoring well priced listings and serious buyers. For sellers, patience and strategy are key. You can't rely on past sales to justify your price. You need to price based on what's actually selling right now. For buyers, this is when you build equity quietly. The best purchases are made when others are uncertain. That's when opportunities show up, and that's when you can take advantage. The Metro Vancouver housing market is shifting in ways we haven't seen in over a decade. It's not falling apart, but it's correcting after years of unchecked growth. For some, that shift will feel painful. For others, it's the chance they've been waiting for. If you're a seller, stay realistic, and if you're a buyer, stay prepared. This is not a market where guessing pays off. It's a market where planning and timing make all the difference.